Are you feeling it too? Like this AI stuff is everywhere. Every company's got an AI strategy now. But how many are actually like seeing results beyond just sounding fancy in a pitch deck? That's what we're digging into today.
Yeah.
You sent us this Forbes article, Beyond the Hype, and it seems like the perfect place to start.
Oh, fantastic choice. That one really gets to the heart of it.
Right. And it's written by a CEO, Umesh Sachdev. He's out there actually doing the work, not just talking theory,
Exactly. And he doesn't sugarcoat anything. Like, he kicks things off by highlighting this McKinsey study, found that only 5% of companies using generative AI are actually seeing significant profits from it.
5%.
Yeah.
Seriously, with all the money and hype around AI right now, that's a tiny sliver actually getting results. What gives?
So Sachdev uses this great analogy. He calls it the 4-layer cake of AI infrastructure to explain it.
Okay, a cake analogy. You got my attention now for sure. Lay it on me. What are these layers?
So the bottom layer, the foundation, he says, is the data lake. This is like all your raw data, right? Often companies use things like Databricks or Snowflake to manage all that.
Right. Makes sense. Got to have good ingredients if you want a good cake. Or good data for good AI, I guess, is the analogy.
Exactly. But just having data isn't enough. You need the next layer up, which he calls knowledge as a service. This is where tech like R comes in retrieval augmented generation databases.
RGAD databases, huh? That's a new one for me, I think.
Yeah, a bit of a mouthful. Basically, these RGAD databases take all that raw data you've got and they turn it into like usable knowledge for your AI. Think of it as like a built-in fact checker almost. Helps reduce those hallucinations we hear about.
Oh, interesting. So the AI isn't just like making stuff up. It's grounded in actual, real world knowledge thanks to this layer. I like where this is going. What's the next layer up on this AI cake of ours?
So that would be the model as a service layer. This is where you're integrating your large language models, could be the big names, your open AIs of the world, or maybe some smaller open source options.
And this is where a company's got to be adaptable, I'd imagine. Like AI changes so fast, you don't want to be stuck with one model forever.
100%. Sachdev really emphasizes building an infrastructure that lets you swap out models as the tech evolves. Don't get too married to one thing because there's always something newer and potentially better coming out.
Right. You don't want to be stuck rebuilding your entire system every other week because there's a new model in town. So what's the top layer, the icing on this AI cake?
Okay, so this is where it gets really exciting. It's the AI agents and applications layer. Think of it like this is where the rubber meets the road, where all that AI capability actually gets put to work through things like chatbots or those data analysis tools, the stuff users actually interact with.
So this is where we see all the cool, flashy AI stuff everyone's buzzing about, right?
Yeah, exactly. But this is also, I think, where a lot of companies kind of like trip up a little bit. They get so fixated on the chat part of AI,
Right.
Thinking it's all about building the slickest chatbot out there. But Sachdev, he argues that the real wins, the real successes come from like thinking bigger picture. How do you weave AI into your existing workflows, make it seamless, not just tacked on as a flashy afterthought?
Yeah. Instead of just trying to replace humans with AI, it's about figuring out how they can work together more effectively, right?
Exactly. And he's got this great example in the article, talks about this North American telecom company. They were getting absolutely slammed with calls to their customer service line.
Oh, yeah, I remember that bit. They managed to cut those calls way down, right?
Yeah, they did. And the key was, it wasn't just about like throwing a chatbot at the problem and hoping for the best. They got really strategic, integrated AI into their existing customer service system. So it was answering those like really basic queries, routing calls more efficiently, even feeding their agents with like real-time info as they were talking to customers. Imagine how much smoother that makes the whole experience for both the agents and the customer.
Oh, totally. It's like the AI is like behind the scenes being the ultimate wingman for those human agents, not trying to steal their jobs. Makes you wonder how many other industries could benefit from that kind of approach,
Oh, tons. It's about working smarter, not just harder, or even just automating everything in sight.
So, okay, we've got this fantastic 4-layer cake, right? It's like the blueprint for building out a solid AI infrastructure.
Yes.
But even with all the right ingredients, actually taking that from like concept to reality, making it work in the real world, that seems like a whole other beast.
Oh, you're telling me. But that's actually where Sachdev's like CEO experience really shines through. He gives you these 5 very actionable steps companies can actually take to move beyond the hype, beyond just talking about AI, and start seeing real measurable results from it.
5 steps. Okay, that's refreshingly straightforward. Tell me more.
So the first step might seem obvious, but honestly, it's amazing how many companies miss the align your AI work with your business goals. Like, actually, don't just chase after the shiniest new AI thing because it sounds cool or because everyone else is doing it. Really focus on where AI can make a tangible difference for your business, solve your problem.
Right. It's got to be about solving real problems, not just checking a box that says, yeah, we do AI too.
100%. Okay, step 2 is to assess your readiness. Like, before you even get started building anything, take a good hard look at your data. Is it good quality? What about your data governance processes? Your team, do they have the skills to make this happen? All that needs to be there.
It's like, I don't know, laying the groundwork before you start building a house, right? You wouldn't just pour the foundation without making sure the ground is level first.
Exactly. Okay, so you've got a handle on your data, your team's ready. Now you got to develop a clear tech blueprint. This is where you map out exactly how AI is going to integrate with the systems you already have in place. The goal is seamless integration, not creating all these little AI islands that don't talk to each other and are a nightmare to manage.
No AI islands. Got it. Everything needs to play nicely together.
Exactly. And speaking of playing nicely, step 4 is all about getting your team ready for this. This means, creating a clear operating model so everyone's on the same page, putting together cross-functional teams that can actually collaborate effectively, and investing in upskilling, getting those skills up to par for this new AI-powered world.
Because even the smartest AI in the world won't do you much good if your team's not equipped to use it.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself. Okay, and then finally, step number 5, the grand finale. Set clear, measurable goals. This is so crucial because otherwise, how do you even know if you're succeeding? This is how you track progress. Figure out what's working, what's not, make adjustments along the way.
Right. You can't manage what you can't measure. Right.
Yeah.
Have those benchmarks, hold yourself accountable. Makes sense. Got to have those goalposts, right? Measure twice, cut once, as they say. Oh, actually, there was one more thing in the article that really stuck with me. Sachdev talks about this idea of not just defaulting to the big name AI providers, the usual suspects. He's advocating for companies to really explore those smaller open source AI models out there. What's the strategic thinking there?
Yeah, that's such a crucial point. It speaks to the need for companies to be really smart shoppers in this AI landscape, because they get lured in by these big providers, sign those massive contracts, and then they find themselves kind of stuck, right? They've got limited flexibility, limited control.
Yeah, it's like being stuck in golden handcuffs, kind of.
Totally. And Sachdev, he's all about being agile, having options. He's saying don't just assume the big guys are always the best fit. Look at the full menu. Those smaller open source models, they can often deliver surprisingly similar performance, but at a fraction of the cost.
And I'm guessing way less risk of getting locked into one vendor's, roadmap or pricing structure.
Exactly. Diversify that AI portfolio, right? You're not beholden to one company's whims or timelines. You've got more control over your data, over your whole AI destiny.
It's about finding that perfect fit, the right AI tool for the job, not just the one with the biggest marketing budget. Well, we covered a lot of ground here today, from those foundational layers of building a solid AI setup to those really tactical steps for actually making it all work in the real world. But even beyond all the techie stuff, I feel like the big takeaway here is this need to be strategic, be thoughtful about AI adoption, right? Always keeping your eye on those tangible business outcomes.
100%. And that's what makes this article, I think, so valuable. It cuts through all the noise, all the hype, and gives you this practical roadmap for navigating this crazy, exciting world of AI.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's not about, keeping up with the Joneses or getting distracted by the shiny new AI thing. It's about understanding how this tech can really move the needle for your business, and then having the discipline and the strategy to actually make it happen.
And remembering it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
This AI stuff is constantly evolving, so that willingness to adapt, to learn as you go, that's crucial.
So well said. And on that note, for our listeners who are ready to roll up their sleeves and make some AI magic happen, what's one key takeaway you hope they walk away with from this deep dive?
I think it comes back to that idea of AI not being this magic bullet. It's a powerful tool, no doubt. And when you use it strategically, thoughtfully, it can unlock incredible value for businesses of all shapes and sizes. But it all starts with that clear understanding of what you're trying to achieve, what problem you're trying to solve, get those foundations right, and then build.
Love it. All right, as we wrap up this deep dive, one final question for you, dear listener. Sachdev talked about AI unlocking value. I want you to sit with that. where do you see that untapped potential in your own work? Something to ponder as you go about your day. That's it for this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep asking those great questions.